Good evening, everyone. I have 6 o'clock. Will you please stand for pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First thing I have on the agenda is approval of minutes for November 3rd, 2022. Are there any amendments?
Yes. I'm calling in page 6. There's no number at the top of the page or the bottom, but at the top of page 6, there's just a couple of typos. It says motion by Mr. Stoliper to move matter to a fiduciary committee. I think it's reconvene as a fiduciary commission. And then the next paragraph down that's bold, just a misprint, misspelling on commission. And
I have one change. Also, to the next page, item number 10, the county clerk. It was reclassification of 8 county clerk employees from grade 2 to grade 4 instead of 2.
Are there any other amendments? All right, with those changes, and if there are no objections, those are approved. Next is the approval of requisitions from November 17th, 2022, in amount of $238,709.23. If there's no objection, that is approved. Next is the approval of accounts payable for November 9th, 2022, in the amount of $368,392.27. If there's no objection, that's approved. Next is the approval of accounts payable for November 17th, 2022, in the amount of $89,376.43. If there's no objection, that's approved. Next is approval of manual checks for November 10th, 2022, in the amount of $59,482.42. If there's no objection, that's approved. Next is approval of manual checks for November 18th, 2022, in the amount of $146,289.36. If there's no objection, that's approved. Next is approval of payroll for November 10th, 2022, in the amount of $302,921.75. If there's no objection, that's approved. Are there any changes to the agenda? No. All right, thank you. Next is public comment. I'll start in the room. Please remember you have 3 minutes. If you're online, please raise your hand. Is their name on the list? Thank you. First up is David Tad.
David Tabb, Jefferson County, lifelong resident, taxpayer. It appears that we still have the Republican-based county commission. Therefore, it's no hope of the survival of the volunteer fire companies as the county has been accustomed. With that said, this county commission, with the decisions they have made, and if this fails, the people, the emergency provisions that you're required to have done before this, you own it. All of you. You own it. You have destroyed a industry independently owned by 7 organizations with a common goal: protect the people of the county and surrounding areas. You've ignored that. Now, there was a candidate that thought it was more important for Parks and Recs to have an aquatic center over having emergency services. If something goes wrong in that aquatic center, which it very well can, there may not be anybody to respond. Has anybody thought about that? Just saying. But you're doing this as a group, as elected officials, and you are not doing what the people have already paid for. So, with all that said, I hope that the public benefits from what the decisions that you're about to make instead of suffer. I, for one, do not trust you. I am purchasing my own equipment. I already have the fire truck. Getting ready to purchase an ambulance and get properly trained for people in case something happens to me, because I do not trust you, nor should anyone else. There's other documents in here that have been presented to you here today with no documentation that's required within your own structure of approaching this county commission. How can you move forward with that if it's not there? The public has a right to know what is being brought before you and to also be included. The public has been excluded. That's why I'm the only one here that's probably going to make a comment. You've all been gotten rid of. I don't have to win a campaign to still challenge the government. Y'all have a nice day.
Is there anyone else in the room that'd like to make public comment? All right, with that, I'll go ahead and close public comment. We can move to agenda item number 1. It's, Ms. Angie Banks, the assessor.
Hello. Hi. Am I still muted?
No, ma'am.
No, we can hear you.
Okay. I have one exoneration. In our 2022 personal property book, Charlestown Corporation, the taxpayer did not remove the 2005 Toyota Prius, but he did get a new bill made up on the 2012 Toyota Prius. So the assessed value is $1,300, tax amount $37.13. Taxpayer is J. Anderson, ticket number 305091.
I move to approve ticket number 305091.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there more discussion? Hear none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next I have is agenda item number 2. It's Matt Harvey.
Good evening. I'm here for 2 employee matters. First of all, I'll start with Courtney Neal, who was previously approved by this commission in a part-time capacity as a victim's advocate. With Gail McMillian, who's spent many years in the Jefferson County Prosecutor's Office, she's retiring at the end of this month. And Courtney's expressed an interest in moving up from part-time to full-time to fill that role. And which is really good for my office because everybody really likes her. She's doing a really good job. She's a great worker. She's picked up everything and has a fantastic work ethic. So taking her from part-time to full-time once Gail leaves I just wanted to go ahead and put that in front of the commission so we can make that transition more seamless than it will be if she stays in the office. And I got some good, this is where you'll really be interested is because Courtney is grant funded, so it's about $20,000 that is attached to her to pay her part-time salary. It was full. That will also follow her into the full-time position for a savings of $20,000. And I would propose that she, once Gail retires, that she replace Ms. McMillian at a salary of $35K.
Even.
35, yes, 35,000 even.
I'll move to approve the part-time to full-time move with Courtney Neal for a salary of $35,000. When's the start date?
No earlier than, let's say December 1st,
Okay.
but I won't start them. Right now, Gail's supposed to leave at the end of November. I won't start. And there's money in the budget to pay her accrued time out. So I won't start her until after Gail's officially retired.
Okay, it's an official start. We just have it for.
I say December 1st, that'd be safe.
Okay, so the official start time will be December 1st.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? I was just curious, the stipulations of the grant allow the transition?
We checked with that
Just make sure.
and they have said that that's not going to be a problem as long as she follows. This is important for me is, she's going to still provide victim services and under the grant to make sure that we ensure that $20,000 is payable to the county. This is that $20,000 that I've always been worried about. And the state has been backfilling the gap between what the federal government, the decreasing amount that they've been given to the state. So this kind of gives us a hedge against that in the future if that's taken away. But with one of the things that Gail's helped us with, and she's leaving, is with technological advances in our office with e-court date, where we're not spending a lot of resources on mailing out letters. We're using electronic communication with text messages and emails. That seems to be doing really well and saving a lot of time. So she's going to be able to, now that it's up and running really well, Courtney will be able to do that and go to court, which we've never been able to do before. So it's really good. And for now it will be, but they could decrease that next October.
You mean the 20,000 grant part?
The VOCA grant in general
Yeah, okay.
is been kind of on a rocky road. I believe with the current administration, with Governor Justice, he's committed to finding that backfill. And he has done that both years that it's fallen short from the federal government. But we can't,
You can't depend.
can't rely on that forever.
All right, thank you.
Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And for the second employee, for the investigative position that was approved by this commission some time ago to start on July the 1st, but I do now have a candidate that I'd like to put forward. His name is Carlos Fonseca. I can spell that Fonseca. And I hope I pronounced it correctly. So Carlos has a fantastic resume. He has a 4-year degree from Rutgers. He's a former Capitol Police officer. He has top secret clearance from the government that's still current and valid. And that's nothing that's insignificant. That's, you have to have a lot of, takes away any issues about the background or anything like that out of the equation. And also with Carlos, he also speaks Portuguese and Spanish and French and English. So that's another addition to our office where, previously when I was in here, I was able to hire a Spanish interpreter as a part-time victims advocate. We'll now have an additional member of the service that is, can at least conversationally communicate with victims and witnesses and make sure he has a tremendous resume. But I think those are the really pertinent points that the fact that he's, I would like to mention this. Sergeant Tom Hansen, I asked him to do the background check on Carlos since he will be testifying like a police officer. And so some of those legal requirements that would be similar. And so I handed his information off to Carlos's information off to the sheriff's department, and they did conduct this background check on this particular candidate because it has more of an investigative role than an attorney or a staff member.
What's the start date in town?
I would like to start him tomorrow, since this has been open since July the 1st, and it's $50,000 is what was budgeted.
50K. Okay. I'll move to approve the hire of Carlos Fonseca to start immediately. Salaries will starting salary is $50,000.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next is agenda item number 3, Mr. Roger Goodwin.
Have two items related to bonding. We have under bonding, in the bonding policy, a provision for a thing that was created called tolling and bonding. And it arose back around 2008 when there was an economic downturn, subdivisions had been platted, no lots sold. And developers were sitting on these subdivisions and banks were a little leery of them proceeding with construction with the possibility of not being able to sell lots, pay off their debt service. So they had come in with a request to create a thing called tolling and bonding, which essentially would park the project. The issue they had is that they had posted construction bonds, $1.5 million, $2 million, guaranteeing that all the site improvements would be installed, the roads, stormwater management, water, sewer lines, et cetera. And when they do that, they have to pay for those bonds, those large sums. And so since they didn't want to proceed with building subdivisions at that time, they wanted to park those bonds, basically have them go away and hold the project and then post a $10,000 site stability bond, just in case something happened out there, somebody went out and did something related to sediment erosion control and we got a complaint, we have $10,000 to go fix the issue. So, and under tolling, they weren't allowed to start any construction, do nothing with the site other than maybe, cut hay, that type of thing. And they could not sell any lots. It just parked it. And so, and there was an agreement created and recorded as part of that and at the county clerk's office. And under that agreement, they would at some point repost the full amount of the construction bond and thereby bringing it out of tolling and move forward with building the project. And then we would return the site stability bond. The other thing they provided at that time was a merger deed that we held. And if they defaulted or walked away, whatever, the county commission could direct staff to take the merge deed, go down to the courthouse, merge all the lots back together to the original parcel, make the subdivision go away and keep the $10,000. So we were protected in that regard. So I've got a couple here that essentially tolling doesn't need to be tolled anymore for various reasons. I'm going to have about 6 more of these at the December 1st meeting. And we didn't think about it at the time, but we really need to record a document or release at the courthouse saying that that agreement no longer applies because it had covenants and restrictions in it with the land. So that in a title search, it's got clean title and removes those covenants and restrictions if somebody's doing a title search. So I've got 2 of them tonight and I'll go down through them and answer any questions you have. So this is a release of tolling and bonding agreement for Avalanche subdivision, Jefferson County Planning Commission file number 0624. On June 23rd, 2011, the County Commission entered into an agreement regarding bonding obligations and declaration of covenants, conditions, and restrictions, commonly referred to as tolling and bonding agreement. The agreement allowed the developer of an approved residential subdivision project with a final plat that is on record in the county clerk's office, but in which no construction of the required land improvements has started, to put the project on hold due to poor economic conditions, thereby tolling or stopping the project from moving forward. The tolling and bonding process is included in the County Commission's site improvements bonding and bond surety policy. The agreement relieved the developer from being required to maintain a construction bond and begin construction of subdivision improvements, and at the same time prevented the developer from being able to sell lots. The developer could bring the subdivision project out from under tolling and bonding by posting a new construction bond in an amount equal to 115% of the estimated cost of all required subdivision improvements. Sarah Carl Metz, the developer of Avalon Hills subdivision, subsequently sold all parcels in the Avalon Hills subdivision to the Stiles Family Partnership LLC. The new owner wants to merge the subdivision back into the original 4 parcels that existed prior to becoming the Avalon Hills subdivision, thereby vacating the subdivision on record. This will be done by recording a merger deed in the office of the county clerk, which will make the agreement unnecessary. Therefore, the county commission, upon recordation of the merger deed by the Stiles Family Partnership LLC, needs to release the developer and owner from the requirements of the agreement by recording a release in the office of the county clerk in order to officially terminate the agreement so it has no further force or effect. Then return the original merger deed and site stability bond held by the county commission under the agreement to the developer, Sarah Carl Metz. So I have a motion there asking you to approve the release, and I also have attached the release document. You want me to read through that? I can. Otherwise, I won't.
I think you've gone over it enough for me.
All right.
I don't know about anyone.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'll go give a motion to approve the release to agreement regarding bonding obligations, declarations, covenants, restrictions, and conditions and restrictions, excuse me, recorded in D-Book 1102, page 89 for the Avalon Hills subdivision, Jefferson County Planning Commission, file number 6-24, as presented, and to record the release in the office of the county clerk.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The second one, I'll just skip down to point. On this one, the developer reposted the construction bond. So in accordance with the agreement, the developer of Bel Air subdivision phase 2 reposted the construction bond and moved forward with completing the residential subdivision, thereby having satisfied conditions of the agreement. Therefore, the county commission needs to release the developer from the requirements of the agreement and return the merger deed and site stability bond held by the county commission under the agreement, and record a release in the office of county clerk in order to officially terminate the agreement so it has no further force or effect. And I have a motion there in that regard.
I'll move to approve the release of this agreement as well regarding bonding obligations, declarations, covenants, conditions, and restrictions. Recorded D-Book 1096, page 547, Bel Air subdivision, page 2, Jefferson County Planning Commission file 05-41, as presented, and to record the release in the office of the county.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I'd like to get these signed. And then I just want to mention that I have a bond reduction that's for the developer, time sensitive and a financial issue. And it's my understanding that Nikki Painter is going to request a special session next week for another purpose. If that occurs, I want to be on that agenda too for this. And I will send it up to Jessica tomorrow in case that occurs.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks.
Speaking of Nikki, she's agenda item number 4.
Okay, so we were able to certify, or we're able to bring to you to certify all offices except the U.S. House of Representatives, 2nd Congressional District, and the 4 statewide amendments. Those will have to be done, I'm assuming in a special session, because I'm sure the state is not going to want to wait until your next meeting in December. And we can do that certification anytime after Monday at 11:15. So just so you're aware of that. But I do have all other offices before you except those two to be certified for the November general election.
Just to clarify, you're saying is the second correctional district and the 4 amendments,
Yes,
and what about the senatorial?
we were able to do the senatorial.
Okay.
Berkeley County finished in time, so it worked for the Thursday meeting. Yep.
Just checking.
So you just need a motion to certify what you've done already. I move to approve certification of the elections excluding the 4 amendments and the
U.S. House of Representatives.
U.S. House of Representatives. Thank you.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And all commissioners will need to sign, and there are 2 copies. I'll start on here. And I'll start with you.
Was it just this first
All
page?
continues to the second page.
I was gonna say, there's like 3 of them.
Yeah, it continues. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next I have agenda item number 5, Mr. Dennis Jarvis.
For your, which one would you rather discuss first?
It don't matter to me, whichever.
If you want mine to do the LED grant resolution, that one's easier. As we came through the last 2 years, this is just your designation of the Jefferson County Development Authority as the lead economic development entity for the county. The state West Virginia Development Office sets aside funding for counties, multi-counties that to help offset costs for economic development projects, activities. And the grant will be for $22,727. There's no physical, there's no cost to the county. We have our budget, which is approved, counts towards the match. This is our basically we use for marketing endeavors. So this is just one of the requirements that we have to keep, and we have a certification for, we're a certified development community. We have to keep, have so many professional development hours and whatnot, and our staff is well ahead. We even have hours in the bank to use for years that may be lean that we can't go attend as many trainings or whatnot. So it's just literally, read it, have you sign it, entered in the record, that finishes our grant application.
I'll move to approve the passage of resolution 35 JCBA as the EDO for the community.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Rather concisely, what we have encountered is over subsequent fiscal years, 11 lots that we sold industrial park projects that have been closed. Mr. Will Rohrball is the attorney record for the JCDA. And basically, he submitted bills to us in August for running a year and a half of fiscal years, running back to, 21, 22. And we were in the second month of FY 22, 23, when we had a full understanding of about a year and a half of a running total, various activities done, including making sure, assisting us with the closure of the FOIA case, which you all pleasantly supported us in. But I think it's more germane for Mr. Fijo to speak as the designee from the board. He helped negotiate this. He can explain relatively further.
Good evening, Commissioners. So essentially what had happened was Mr. Wolbach was delinquent in submitting his invoices to us. So by the time we had gotten them, the budgeted or allocated funding for legal fees in our budget had not been used and turned back over to the county. The fees were in excess of roughly $38,000 for the period of time. I was authorized by the board to enter into discussions with Mr. Wolbach and subsequently essentially charged him a late fee of not being prompt with his invoicing. So we got the 38 roughly thousand down to 25,000 to get it all cleaned up. Also in doing so, we went in and locked him down to $1,800 a transaction for closing lots for us instead of piecemealing, because some take longer than others and you charge for time. But to make it more succinct with the budget process, we've locked it down to $1,800, and that's what it is, regardless of the amount of time. And we can kind of plan for that moving forward. Also, with the, we also agreed into, he will, moving forward, be billing us as a, yeah, I'm aware, thank you, as a quarterly cycle, so that we can better keep track of it and not guess what had been done for that period. So all of that was to mitigate this from happening again, if that clarifies it for you. Just so you're aware though, we have 6 lots remaining in the Burr Industrial Park for sale, and currently we have 3 that are in process. So we're still moving along, we're still recruiting for the county, and I don't think I have anything else for that.
And you're asking for the total amount of 25,000?
Yes, sir.
And so just to clarify, you said that you had budgeted for it, but you turned it back over to the.
Yes, that was originally budgeted. I think if I can remember that far back, I believe we do roughly 25,000. And I think it was the 25,000 because that's why I targeted that number, not to exceed what we were originally allocated.
And you have to understand too, that we had 2 parallel legal costs incurring over this timetable as well too. Our engagement with Frost, Brown and Todd for the FOIA case with Jefferson County Vision. And we also had any matters before the board coming before Mr. Rohrbach. So, and we did clarify, moving forward, the fixed cost is also paid out of the fee, whatever proceeds we get from sale of a lot, we factor in his costs as well to help reduce the burden here with us for the county.
I'm a little concerned. You've come to us, this is the second time since the fiscal year started. And so, and I know this is not your fault, it's kind of an unfortunate incident. You've said you're selling lots now, right?
Yes,
Will you
ma'am.
have some income coming in that could cover this?
No, ma'am, no, because these are costs that are accrual in the past. These are not costs moving forward. I mean, the bill's already due.
That's right. And I read in the paper a lot was just sold.
It was, but I can't, we can't, we have a debt service to West Virginia EDA and the West Virginia Jobs and Infrastructure Council. Basically 53% of the loan portion goes to one entity, the WBDA, and 46% goes to the West Virginia Jobs and Infrastructure Council. We went through an iteration this week with our with Decker and Company, our CPA firm. We established what our current debt service is on the remaining lots. You know what the delta is. We're at 58,500 per acre. If you look at the aggregate, if you look at the total, we need to get to a higher total to write down the debt service. We have some issues in the park that aren't borne by anybody. They're, and I was talking about the overall cost to get you to understand. We have 25, we have setbacks with the planning office, zoning office, we have to adhere to, so that diminishes the footprint of developable acres. There's some watershed issues with the remaining lots. The prime optimal lots are not, they're just not there anymore. So the income is probably diminishing, and we would be, I understand your question, but we would be doing $3,600 in closing costs, and the debt service would be diminished. We would not be able to help close that off. And I think being good stewards of money, you wouldn't want us to come back to you. I would rather, I feel more comfortable coming to you and talking to you about something over a longer period of time for a smaller amount than coming to you and asking for assistance in what we have and could be hundreds of thousands of dollars left, and a loan because the value of the property is not mirroring what we're selling for. So I just to clarify, I'm not being rude to you, that had been taken into consideration.
Right. And just a reminder that we did give you some money recently for doing pad ready sites or something.
Yes, but that came out of coal severance,
Yeah, it's
which
still,
is allocated by the state strictly for our office.
No, coal bed methane.
Coal bed methane, I apologize.
And we asked for, we asked for what was ARPA funded, ARPA eligible.
Yeah.
And, you all were gracious enough to give us a remaining balance out of coal severance, which is a allowable initiative. So, and if you look at what you're doing, and you will be brought up to speak, just real quickly, speak to the project. We've completed, we have 3 task orders. We're about 20% through the first task order, which is looking at lots 9 and 10 for the enhancement. We're just developing the land use evaluation study for a new potential industrial park publicly owned. All those will sunset in April, May of 23. And we are confident that what you've invested will allow us at the term that House Bill 4002 will be funded. And they'll be eligible for drawdown funds from the state for us to offset costs to enhance lots 9 and 10 in the park. And then we will be talking to you about the overall study and the impact that could have for decades for the community looking at a new industrial park. So it's a longer term conversation we'd much appreciate, and I haven't got to catch you up to speed on that. So.
Hey, John. Since you're wearing a couple hats with.
Right. You want
our
to
financial manager. If we were to fund this, where would we pull it from?
We'd have to come out of coal severance.
Okay.
So I can tell you the current balance in coal severance right now is 66,571. We have left in that fund right now.
Okay.
Would it have to, because don't we also have an emergency fund? We're getting into winter, so I don't really want to touch that, but I'm trying to think of alternatives.
yeah, I don't think this is.
Mr. President, if I may, let me offer this to you guys. I would be willing to go back to the board and get permission to allocate half of the requested amount through our sweeps account, which much like you is, if for something happens and we have another COVID, we have enough to maintain operations without putting the burden on you folks. And if John's okay with it, I would be willing to split the 25 so that you don't have to hit rainy day funds. And we can pull it out of sweep accounts, which is set aside for emergencies, if that would help you folks out.
Do you want to go back to your board and then come back to us? So we know what. we're-
It's a
or,
formality.
I mean,
They already know
Oh, okay, all
that
right.
this is a conversation. So the process of getting it approved is not a difficult one. There's no roadblocks to it, and
I just wanted
it's a necessity.
Make sure that, yeah.
It's much like paying the electric bill. You need permission, now you need lights. So, but I don't want to put, or we as a board don't want to put undue stress on the commission. So if we could split it and make that easier for you, we'd be willing to do that.
That would be much more palatable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds like a win-win. I'll need a motion to approve $12,500 to be taken out of coal severance, pay legal fees for JCBA for Mr. William Wilmot.
Thank you.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. Is there more discussion?
I just want to say that I do appreciate because my questions were going to be, what are we going to do to remedy this for the future? But I appreciate the
Yes.
proactive steps that quarterly billing and that you talked about.
Yeah, and I look forward to many more conversations in the future where we're partners, not just an entity in the county. So if we do have a problem, my thought process from many years of DOD is go to your supervisor with the problem, but you better have reasons to have it solved or a way to solve it. So that's kind of what I would like us to do with you folks moving forward.
Very good. All right. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Next, I have agenda item number 6, Delegate Wayne Clark.
Well, good evening. Thank you for having me. I am Delegate Wayne Clark, and this is Jeanette Shushan with JHS Group. As we know, we have a very deadly intersection that is in the middle of our county. And that is the intersection of 340 and Augustine Avenue. And I do apologize for 2 typos that were on my agenda. I was filling it out on my phone, so I guess autocorrect fixed and called one of them August Avenue. I was like, no, that's that. That's, yeah. But at the end of the 21 session, myself, Paul Espinosa, Jimmy Riston, and Jason Foster sat down and discussed this intersection. We discussed what was coming in regards to the additional homes that are going to be built in Hunfield, the apartment complex, and the gas station that's going to be on the corner. And we were excited to hear that they agreed to do a traffic study. 15 months later, in the month of July, the traffic study comes back, and that is this beast right here. There is actually 6 different plans on an alternative fix or process of the intersection. Each of those plans run on an estimated average of somewhere between $20 and $43 million to fix and remedy the situation. Unfortunately, and I'll read a little insert from the letter from the Department of Highways, some of the factors that were contributed to proposing a build alternative would have been increased traffic in the area, higher crash rate, or level of service at intersection becoming critical. That is their finding, that as we all know, and the exact number, I am not 100% sure, but I believe it's over 10 of our Jefferson County residents have passed at that intersection. And according to the Department of Highways, the crash rate is not high enough. So JHS Group, which I'll have Jeanette introduce herself shortly, they specialize in infrastructure projects just like this. They specialize in going to federal governments and getting grants to pay for infrastructure projects just like this. The reason why we're here is because the Department of Highways did not put it high enough on its priority list. And the Department of Highways has already received infrastructure money from the federal government, from the infrastructure bill that passed recently by the federal government. They cannot get any more money. So now we have to go on an individual process. You all are involved with this because we have of the 6 different program options, the most viable option, part of that resides into the county. So what I'm asking for, and this is with approval from Jason Foster, Chief Engineer from Department of Highways, also Roger Anshaw, Speaker of the House, is I have attached a letter here that basically allows us, which is Jefferson County, the city of Charlestown, and we will be presenting on Monday to the city of Charlestown, the ability to look at alternative sources of funding. And that's where JHS will come into play. The main contact for the project is going to be the city of Charlestown. You all are involved because one little portion, and I'll show this to you. We are not giving this publicly yet to avoid any misinformation coming out or on social media about the project. We will be coming back to you prior to submitting of the grant to actually show you the whole project once we get approval from the city of Charlestown for the same letter. But there's a small portion right down here that is in the county.
If you're presenting this, I think it is in public record and the public would have a right to see it if you continue.
Okay. All right, we'll put that there. We'll just go. All right. So at this time, I would like to introduce Jeanette Shushan, who can talk to you a little bit about what JHS Group does and how they can be a partner with us.
Thank you, Dwayne. So good evening, County Commissioners. My name is Jeanette Shushan and I own JHS Group. We are located in Inwood. I run a crisis construction and logistics management company based out of West Virginia, and we service the federal government along with commercial entities. So how this came about was Wayne came up to us with a project, and this was a great project eligible for the bipartisan infrastructure law that just came out. Well, out of $1 trillion out there, the Biden administration is focusing on building, improving infrastructure for safety, for building economic growth, for increasing more jobs in the area. So that's where my company comes in. Being a part of West Virginia for the last 3 years, my way of giving back is a 3-part. One is my employees. I proudly employ 49 employees in Berkeley and Jefferson County. And we run construction teams. I have a project management team. And the biggest team of them all is my federal contracts team, which has over 30 plus years on the Hill applying for, identifying, applying for, and winning federal contracts and bids for counties, towns, and states. So that's what we're offering, and we want to help provide our services.
So like I said, what we're asking for is approval to have the commission sign, president sign this letter, which will be sent to Jason Foster along with the letter from Mayor Bob Traynor, providing we get approval from the city council as well on Monday to allow us to look at funding this project through an outside source. Any questions?
I just want to, excuse me. JHS Group sounds like it has some unique skills, but is it appropriate at this time to be bringing in a private corporation and tied to this project?
So currently, right now, we don't have a way of funding this program.
Yeah, okay.
So with their specialty in being able to write grants federally for infrastructure, they are the best choice to get this done.
Well, wouldn't you have to bid that out?
Not through grants.
That was going to be my question. Like some services we do, and some we don't. I was going to ask you that question if you thought we had to.
I believe in this case you do not.
We do not.
Right.
Okay. All right. Because it's a special set of skills.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
So appreciate you bringing this up, and I understand that intersection and the dangers of it when it was designed and built. And I do think it needs to be addressed. I think there's something else going there, commercial. on that Corner.
Gas station.
My main concern is we have lots of intersections and highways here in the county. And I think we're planning to do our road summit in January.
We've moved
I
on
would-
to spring. We're gonna do it in
Okay.
spring.
I just would like to see what other intersections and stuff would need to be addressed too, and see how we can, make those things happen in conjunction with Department of Highways, who is ultimately responsible for the roads. So I would like to make sure we're not addressing one thing, but all the issues in the county. I've received numerous phone calls. I believe that's there behind, on Plain Springs Road with that intersection, behind the Martin Shopping Center.
And here's one of the great things in regards to JHS Group and what they're able to do is they're able to tie in multiple different levels of projects into individual grants. So if, for example, and I'm fully aware of the Flowing Springs exchange there coming out, if there's a solution or there's been a study that has been done, there is a likelihood that we could, if the Department of Highways isn't going to put it on a high enough priority list.
Right.
And that's the thing, the Department of Highways has their priority list, and if it's not in the top 15, it's not getting funded.
Right.
We recently gave them $250 million to fund projects that were on the top 15 list 2-3 years ago.
Right.
So they're significantly behind on funding. So, there are options that are existence for other infrastructure projects potentially as well.
So would we need to have the studies on other infrastructure projects to tack on, or would that be a separate grant request or a separate?
That's a good question. This project in particular was it came about because Wayne already had the studies for it, and it jumped out to us because Washington High School is right next to it. And actually, 2 of our employees mentioned how dangerous that intersection is. So we just initially started out with this, but if Wayne and his team decide with your county that there are more intersections that we can build a narrative, that's what my federal contracts team does. They do the background research of that county to see what are the issues. And what makes our grants team different is we have built the narrative. We know how to talk to DC folks. The people that allot the federal funding, they need a particular story.
Right.
And that's how you win the money. There's money out there. And they really prioritize safety before the broadband, and the broadband is the first one, or airport operations. But right now, what we've been focusing on in the last 2 months has been public safety, in addition to infrastructure for economic growth.
Well, I was just going to say that I agree with Commissioner Jackson, but I also think, like you had said, Wayne, I think it took 15 months to get the study done. I kind of would want to get the ball rolling on this and see about potentially adding in things later, just because I know with the Flowing Springs, and I've looked into that one, and I definitely want to address it this spring. But I feel like with the high school being there and the gas station coming in, it's not is there going to be more? It's when there's going to be more accidents. So I would like to try to get something proactively.
May I add one more comment, if that's okay? So we're actually helping out a few, we opened this up to West Virginia, 100%. This is the only state I'm going to help out. I could do this for other states, but because my children go to school here, I'm placing roots here. I moved here from Connecticut. This is where my business is, and this is where I'm going to raise the rest of my life. I wish I could move to Jefferson County, and I'm planning on to, so I'm looking for a house. The thing is, the infrastructure law has $1 trillion. Other states like California has already taken $8 billion. They're taking a lot of money. There's earmarked money for the Appalachia. None of the states in our area has taken advantage of that yet. I want to be the first, and all it takes is more than 300 hours of writing it, but if there's a need. The issue is many of the counties have grant writers. They just don't have the time or the bandwidth. If we can get $50 million or X amount that is allocated for this intersection to make Washington High School safe, That goes on my conscience, and one, and number two, it helps out the state.
And I guess with this allocated federal money, if we would wait, it could run out.
That's the problem. It's running out. A lot of the states, California, New York, Connecticut, Maryland, they've taken advantage of it. Kentucky, Tennessee, Louisiana, the Alabamas, West Virginia hasn't taken anything. And my federal team is constantly on it. We're working with native tribes to help them win it as well. That's part of my federal division, but the only state I'm gonna help out is West Virginia.
I guess another question is, what is the cost to the county, or is there one?
There isn't none. There's no
Nothing,
cost,
absolutely
there's no obligation. What this letter is doing is just letting the Department of Highways know we would like to try something else. When everything is done, the main client's going to be the city of Charlestown. Like I said, it's just because there's a portion that touches you all while you're involved.
So you're just asking for support?
Correct. And that's basically what the letter is saying.
It don't matter. Now I'll go ahead and move Jefferson County Commission authorize the president to write a letter to the West Virginia Department of Highways, specifically Chief Engineer Jason Foster, to all Jefferson County in conjunction with the city of Charlestown and JHS Group to seek outside funding to complete Route 340 and Augustine Avenue interchange.
I'll second it.
So moving seconded, is there any more discussion?
I'll just say that I do second it and I support this project, but I understand there are a lot of other places in the county and we are going to look at those as well. But just as a mom, the high school is a priority. So I want to.
Route 51 in Middle Way too.
Yeah.
That's where JHS is. So, yes.
Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Next tab is agenda item number 7, interviews and appointments, starting with Jefferson County Board of Zoning Codes.
Anybody online?
Yeah, Mr. Dave. David. Mr. Dave?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Dave, this is Steve Stoller. I'll go ahead and start. Why do you desire to be on the Board of Zoning Appeals?
I'm about to retire in the next couple of years, so I have extra time on my hands. I was on the BZA in the early 2000s, and I really enjoyed it. I work in the engineering field. I understand how to read plans and specifications, and I also understand how the regulations apply to them. I enjoyed it, so I'd like to try it again.
Thank you.
This is Jane Ted, and I seem to remember probably appointing you to the BZA in the early 2000s. But what did you find was your biggest challenge when you were serving on the BZA?
Biggest challenge. At the time, the regulations were probably 30 pages, and there were 23 items that we had to assure were met in order to approve something. It left huge need for interpretation, and the regulations just weren't there. I've had the pleasure of reading the new documents that you have, rather lengthy, but very precise. And that allows us on the BZA to make much better decisions, because we're not there to create a regulation or an ordinance. We're there to assure that it's followed. So that was probably the biggest challenge.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Mayor? Yeah, all right. I'll go ahead and move to approve the appointment of Dave Wiegand to the Jefferson County Board of Zoning Appeals for one unexpired term ending January 1st, 2026.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next is an appointment for Parks and Rec.
No. Okay.
He says she's not on.
She's not online yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say we're ready.
Yeah, you're right on time. Yeah, you're doing really great.
We can do more and come back.
She's not here, right?
Oh.
Just making sure. I can't put a face to the name. Do you guys just want to table it and see if she comes next time?
I think we could.
Yeah, yeah, let's see.
Because I don't want to just deny she's here.
Right, right.
Fair enough.
Like this. You know who it is. and-
So we can table that to December 1, Sarita. Make sure we get that on the agenda for this.
And do we re-advertise it or not? We don't know.
No, I don't think we
December
need to
1,
re-advertise
no,
it.
that's
We'll just
wrong.
get it on the agenda and
Yeah.
we'll have, we'll remind individuals that we'll need them here or online.
Or if there's a reason that she can't participate,
Right.
that lets us know that she can't participate.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
but, you know, her application is very complete, so that's good.
Next I had Nathan, but if you guys want to go to unfinished business first?
I don't think Nathan, can you go see if Nathan's in the hallway?
Yes.
I'm gonna be real positive and say he doesn't have anything, but I'm not gonna.
He only has one thing
His
listed,
list
so.
He told me today, it's all good news, so.
Well,
Apologies, Commissioner. I take it that you've gotten to item number 8.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't have anything.
And I was proud of you for only having one item.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Now, is there an update on?
No, Mr. Director Berner will be updating you on the December 1st meeting.
And then item number 10. Charlestown Utility Board nominations.
I actually put that on. So I know we haven't received any applications for the board, and I've tried really hard to get some of my neighbors on it and given it interest. So I was wondering if it would be possible, because I'm happy to be on the board. I live in the district. Do you know if it's a possibility, Nathan?
To be on the utility board, I'd have to look at the statute, see if there's any prohibition.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I don't recall it prohibiting commissioners, but there is the commissioner liaison portion. So
Yeah.
they might say there's a conflict.
Well, they might feel that the commission is
Yeah.
overrepresented.
Yeah.
Do you,
Well, I have to
We
look at
feel
our
it's
agreement.
underrepresented.
do you, the liaison, is liaison vote? So the liaison is a non-voting member, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
but if a commissioner is appointed to the board, then they're a voting member,
Yeah.
they're not a liaison.
So there's we've got an agreement, so I'll just have to
Yeah.
review that.
Research.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Next is item number 11, the holiday schedule.
Hello, Commissioners. Cindy
You're
Rosemont.
not sneaking extra holiday in there, I'm sorry. It's really hard.
So again, Cindy Rosemont, Deputy County Administrator. I'm here to present and hopefully ask for your approval for the proposed holiday schedule for 2023. Are there any questions? We get another 4-day, nice 4-day weekend there in June. Now.
Yeah, Juneteenth, yeah.
Yeah, in combination with West Virginia Day, so.
Yeah.
Can we add a couple more?
I think you need, you need a motion, and then we'll need a signature on the form so we can put it on the website.
I'll move to approve the 2023 holiday schedule.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Then next is item number 12, approval of date, time, and location of first meeting of 2020.
So yeah, per protocol, we have to motion when the first meeting of the calendar year will be each year. So that's what this motion is about. And so we've set that for January 5th at 9:30 to be out here in the meeting room.
And we need a motion just to
Kick off.
bless that date, right?
Yeah, bless the date.
How about that? I'll move to approve our first meeting in 2023 to be held in the basement of the Charlestown Library on January 5th at 9:30 a.m.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
At that meeting, we will also, on the agenda will be the appointments of the liaison to the boards and also your selection for chair and vice chair, president and chair. or vice chair.
Next I have is county administrator report.
Okay, so we advertised for the position of finance director through our website, Indeed, and received 9 applications. The interview panel consisted of both myself and Cindy Resmer, my deputy. A series of 9 questions were asked, each candidate and scored equally. Of the 9 candidates, 3 were chosen to interview based on their qualifications. 1 elected not to interview. A top candidate for the position of finance director is Stacy Clark. Ms. Clark recently retired from the federal government and in her last role, she served as the administrative office cost center business manager for the U.S. Geological Survey, right up here in Kearnsville. Ms. Clark in her role supervised 18 staff with a budget of $30 million. Furthermore, Ms. Clark in this position managed activities related to budget formulation and execution, accounting, procurement and contracts, cooperative agreements, reimbursable agreements, working capital funds, donated funds, IT, property, fleet, personnel, safety, travel, facilities management, and building security. Ms. Clark's stellar 31-year career with the federal government, coupled with her vast knowledge of budgets and management, I feel will be a huge success for our team and the commission. So my ask tonight is for us to hire Ms. Clark at a salary of $90,000 per year with a start date of November 21st. And a cost savings to the commission of about $13,000.
I'll move to approve the hire of financial director Stacy Clark for $90,000 a year. Start date's November 21st, 2022.
Did you say November 1st?
November 21st.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're
that would
right.
be
I'm
this
sorry.
coming Monday.
Okay.
I misheard it. I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there more discussion?
I just want to make a statement that I appreciate the expediency of hiring. I'm not going to support this hire only for the lack of information you have provided to the public and to myself of an impromptu decision on hiring for such a critical role and position.
Is there any more discussion?
I guess I'll just say that I understand Commissioner Jackson's concerns and others. And moving forward, I do want to make sure that we're including more information for the public. I think more information always better. But I am concerned December is here and the budget is happening. So I think that it's a tough situation, but we do need to make sure we're keeping on top of the budget. So I do support this, but think that moving forward, we can improve on the information we're providing.
All right, is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries 4-1. Is there anything else to come before the commission this evening?
No.
Hearing none, if there's no objection, we are adjourned.
Happy, everybody have a happy anniversary. Happy Thanksgiving.